So this was a training I was going to do for my team. And I asked Lisa if she thought it would be okay if I did it for you guys too. So I was doing training the whole time that I was gone. I know a lot of you guys are curious about what Elite Summit is all about. Obviously, I was in the second group that went, meaning that my rank currently is a fashionista. Hey, Angie. So I would like to talk to you guys about the training that we received and the lessons that I learned while I was there, because I think it's a good lesson, and it really made me take a step back and see some of the things that I was missing from what I was doing, and I think it could help everybody be able to move forward. Hey, Karina. Hi, Angie. Hey, Tracy Sue. Hello, Jules. So I'm waiting for Lisa to get here. So I was hoping that she would be on because I messaged her. But I know, life happens. We all know that, right? And a lot of what I learned, I didn't learn until I actually came back. So this was obviously my first Elite Summit. I went there with expectations to just kill it and take all this knowledge home, and didn't really sink in a lot of what they were teaching us until I got home. And today, while I was taking a step back with my son, I learned a really valuable lesson. And so I saw like a bigger picture of what was going on at Elite. So let me tell you what it was like, right? So the first night we checked into Elite, I have actually been doing this. If some of you guys, so far I almost recognize every name that has come across the screen. Either, hey Robin, hi Vivian. I either recognize every name that has come across the screen, A, because I'm a part of Lisa's team, B, because you're on my team, C, because maybe you've come to my live to check me out and see how I do things. So I wanted to share with you guys the whole experience. And I know some of you guys are aiming for this and some of you guys aren't, and that's absolutely fine. But what they did the first night was we went down to dinner and we all kind of sat and visited. It was just dinner. We had special delivery sent to our room. Everything that Paparazzi does, hello Tina, is very top notch, right? We are all princesses and princes for those of the guys that do this. We are all treated as individuals. And the beautiful thing about it is that Paparazzi recognizes us for each one of our personalities and our families and who we are. And you may think that that's flabbergasting. I had several people, hi Evelyn, I had several people during the summit comment about how they left the table and how maybe one of the founders sat down and somebody'd say, oh, well, who's your wife? And the wife wasn't there. And Misty or Trent would say, oh, that's Jessica. His wife is Jessica. So you think that they don't see us, you think that they don't know us, but that they actually do. The next day that we went into, hey Brianna, hi Tina. The next day we went into a formal training and we sat down and they started telling us the ins and outs of paparazzi and their passions. And they did open forums. And then we went and we split into groups later. All the while we're having all this fabulous food. And we split into groups. And as we split into groups, then each founder would take and have a different lesson for all of us, okay? One would be about the reports in the back office. Hey, JT. One would be about how they feel about their own company, right? And so the basis of how they felt was that they're trying to make Paparazzi a household brand. And they showed us a lot of pictures of relations to household brands like Cold Stone Creamery and Coca-Cola. And he asked us how we all felt when we saw each one of them, right? And all of us didn't have a negative feeling. It was a name brand. We knew what we felt about it. So they went into the specifics about how we are, as a company, reflect all upon each other. And several team leaders would get up and they would tell their stories and become very vulnerable in front of us. They would talk about how they couldn't feed their children before this, how they lived out of their car, how they would recycle milk from their kids' cereal, not letting them drink the milk, that's how poor that they were. And everybody sat around and would put their input in and congratulate each other. And then the next day we did pictures, and the day after that we had a morning training. And we figured we were going to an evening training. So what happened was we didn't have an evening training. What happened when we went into the room was they had all of these tables set up. And I'm hoping that I can describe this, how I actually saw this when I came home. They had all of these tables set up, and they had chairs with easels in front of them, and they had brought in a person to teach us how to paint, like kind of like those drinking paint things. You know, I could tell that that's where she was from, the sip and paint, or you know, everybody has a different name in the town or state that they're from of the place that they have. So we all sat down and we thought this was great fun, right? We sat, and the teacher gets up of the class, and she had a microphone, and she had several of the pictures that she had done that we were supposed to, you know, emulate, staggered across the room, and she had one up on the screen, and then she had a big easel up in the front. And as we were watching her paint, she showed us to put the outline. She told us that you could use this color or you could use that color. And hello, Ashley. She showed us many different things to incorporate into the picture, but she said overall the picture is yours. So you could see some people being very uncomfortable, right? You could see some people got their picture done in seconds. You could see some people got their picture done and it took a long time. Overall, you could see some people were so embarrassed of their picture or really thought twice. And the whole time she's telling us, here's the key, guys. This is fun. This is about smiling. This is about having a good time. This is relaxing. Your company did this for you to relax. So at the end of it, we all took our paintings. Later on that night, we had a large dinner. They had a band for us, and we packed our bags and we went home. So I had told myself in the car, on the way, or in the car, in the plane, the whole way home, I was gonna take this weekend to spend some time with my family. It was very hard. I was one of the only people who had not had my husband along with me due to health reasons. So everybody had kind of a buddy except for me. I purposely didn't wear my name tag to places because I wanted people to listen to me without knowing who I was, or to talk to me and not know who I was, because I wanted to gather as much information as I could, and I didn't want to become an authority on any type of information. I wanted to stand back. I get home, and yesterday was kind of a free-for-all, and then today we pulled out the suitcases and I pulled out my picture. And so some of you guys, because I put it onto the team training, had seen the original picture that I had done. So this was the original picture that I had done. Lisa and both Jason, her husband, had a picture. And so I pulled this out and I'm looking at it, and I looked at it and I go, wow, that's really dark, you know? So I looked at my son, and he had originally wanted to do something else, and I said, how about we paint a picture? Because all kids love to get paint and get messy, right? So we pulled out the canvases and I started to paint. So this is the picture that I painted today, okay? Because I was like, man, that's a really dark picture and I don't want that picture to be so dark. And what started to make me learn the lesson that I had been taught was, this is my son's picture, right? And I said to him, I said, wow, I said, I really like your tree. And he goes, well, you know what it means, don't you? And I said, no. I said, I don't know what it means. What does it mean? And he says that even after death, that there is light, because we're with God and we're alive. And I thought, wow, like, that's pretty deep for a 10-year-old, right? Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Kay. Hi, Tara Jo, or Tara Jo. So I thought, wow, I thought that was really deep. Now, the whole time that he's doing this picture, he's looking at me, right? And he's like, am I doing it wrong? Did I do something wrong? Hi, Angela. He kept looking for me for guidance, right? And I said, no, I said, this is fun. I said, this is what you do. I said, listen, I said, you get to paint whatever you want to paint. I said, it doesn't have anything to do with what I painted, and there's no right or wrong way to doing it. So then it all hits me, right? It all comes together. Here we are at this elite conference, and there's about 300 of us in this room together painting these pictures. And here's this teacher in front of us. Now think of the teacher who's just giving us the outline as your upline. This is your sponsor, right? Your sponsor is there to give you this outline of what this is that we do. And here's some people, and they're finishing right away, and here's others that are taking a very, very, very long time. Hey, Daisy. Hello, Rebecca. And so all of a sudden it hit me. Like, this is not about my dream for you. Jack saying that to me said about his picture was saying that he was looking for affirmation and he wanted me to tell him this was right or this was wrong. And there is no right or wrong, right? So we are all sitting here and we are all painting our own picture with Paparazzi. We are all choosing our own path and choosing which way we want to go. We all have different dreams and different expectations. And here's the big thing that I learned at leadership, that as we are sitting here, what happens is that us and those of you guys who have signups, we have expectations, right? We think that they should be doing this or they should be going this way. And why didn't they listen to this? And the thing is that we're all different. And when you look and sit down and look at everybody's picture, we all have a different picture and we all have a different way of painting it. And so I will give you this. When we were sitting during the first portion of the meetings, they had everybody in the room, and I'm in a larger group. Lisa is in a group about 40 or 50 girls, I think, when she went the week before. And when we sat there, they said, how many of you people have hit elite within a year? One person in the entire room sat down. When they said, how many of you have hit elite within 2 years? 10 people sat down, and so on and so forth. And so I think that sometimes that we all get unreasonable expectations as to where we are supposed to be. And the truth is that we all have different journeys. And we can't look at somebody else's picture and think that that should be our picture. And I'm sitting here gathering all of this, right? And as a teacher, she did not go around and say, that is outside of the lines. That is not right. No, she went around and she said, excellent. I'm glad that you're finding it. And the whole thing the whole time that we were painting, the thing that she kept reminding us of was to smile, right? How many of you guys joined Paparazzi not to have a good time? Anybody? Not me. You know, I loved this jewelry. It made me feel fabulous. I have a fun time selling this jewelry. You know, and so if you lose sight of what you are doing and you are not having a fabulous time, you've lost your way on your painting. It's your painting, right? That means that I can't tell you what your goals are. That means that Lisa can't tell you what your goals are. That means I can't tell you you need to go buy, because you know you and you know what you need to do. And so your picture should not have value based on what somebody else sees in it. Your picture needs to have value based on what you see in it. And the thing about it is that you should be painting a picture with a goal in mind, right? Good, Tracy Sue, and you got to keep that up, right? You should be painting a picture with, exactly, each with a different journey. So you should be painting a picture and you should have a goal in mind. And so here's the thing. Do you think that you should start out painting a huge mural across a wall? No, right? You start out painting something very small. And you take the steps that you see that you need to take to get that picture done. But if you're having a hard time creating a goal, then you do need help, okay? Because this is the thing. With a goal, you're going places. You're getting your picture done. But if you don't have a goal, then you're just sitting, right? With a goal, you're going somewhere. And so you guys have to remember what your goals are. And a lot of people put goals based on sales. Like, oh, this is my sales and da-da-da-da-da. Well, if you base it on sales and sales alone, then guess what? You could be defeated real quick, because sales take time. You have to build your audience. You have to enjoy what you do. You have to find your forte. You have to buy a variety. And sometimes we have a different journey and we can't buy a variety to start, right? We're buying what we can. We're selling what we can, and it takes time to build. So just like it takes one person 1 year to get to elite, and it takes some people 2 years, it takes some people 3, 4, 5, or maybe even 6. So I sat down next to somebody And I'm only going to share this because she shared it with all of us. And her name is Marnie. Marnie's won 2 necklaces. In fact, both years that Lisa has won the necklaces, she won the necklace. And she stood up and she got out of her comfort zone, which is what all of us were doing, right? Because we're painting a picture next to somebody. We're leaving ourselves vulnerable. What if they think it's ugly? What if they think I stink? She got up in front of everybody at Leadership Summit and she says, she says, it's been a long journey. And she says, it took me 6 years to get here. And she says, but the reason why I'm telling you this, and some people look down on me that it took 6 years. And she says, the reason why I'm saying this is because I don't want you to give up on somebody, because it may take them 6 years, but they might get here, right? And so that right there struck home with me. And I went up to her because I had been talking to her throughout Elite Summit. And I said to her, do you really think that people look down on you because it took you 6 years to get here? And she says, absolutely. And I said, boy, isn't that pretty two-faced? And she's like, well, what do you mean? I said, because the first thing as a leader is you tell everybody that they move at their own pace. They have their own journey. They write their own book. I said, and if somebody's going to look down on you because this is your story, I said, then it's pretty much how do I be a leader and say those things out loud to my team if I don't mean them? So I know a lot of you guys have sponsors, right? We've gone out and we've recruited. You know what? Some of us find that it's very easy to do. And some of us find that it's very hard. And I can remember, but me as a team leader will look when somebody recruits somebody. And I'll see the numbers of the person that they recruited and it's going down and it's going down and it's going down. And then I'll see some of the questions that that person's asking in our group chat. And I'll think to myself, why didn't they give them what I gave to them? Why did they not instill in them the things that I told them about Fashion Fix, about new releases coming out daily? Why did they not do that? And Trent Kirby had sat down and he said to us, he says, you guys are expecting everybody to be a general. You are expecting everybody to be a teacher in your group, and they aren't. Their strong suit might be recruiting, but they may not have the information or know how to present it to somebody for them to understand. So you have to do that, right? And because I used to think, well, this is their recruit. This isn't my recruit. In reality, only certain people are going to make it to elite, right? Because you have to be able to lead. And if you're not sure on how to do it, you need to go educate yourself. You need to grab books. We were given homework to come home to. And I don't know, I think it is here because I was working on it today. We were given homework to come home to. Every Friday, we are to read 2 chapters in this book, and we are to write down what we learned from them, how we implement them into our team, and what results that we are seeing, okay? So every 2 weeks, there's only 12 chapters. It's a pretty simple read. And I'm thinking when they hand out the book before they give us the homework, I'm thinking, how the heck am I going to do this? Do they know what I get done in a day? How am I going to sit down and read a book? I'd love to read a book, right? And so it all came together when I was painting this picture today, because I'd step back from my picture and I'd step back from my picture and I'd look at it and I go, you know what? It needs a little bit here and it needs a little bit there. And so when it came together was everything that I was learning today, I was taking and applying to what they were saying during this meeting. They stood up and they told us, if you guys decide that you aren't going to go to EMP, if you decide that you're not going to go to convention, okay, those are all get up and go for your business. Those are things that you cannot miss. In fact, next year, I'm going to try to make it to every EMP there is, okay? Not just because I have team located by all the EMPs or I have teammates going, but because it strengthens my business every time I go. This retreat, you think, oh, it strengthened your business because you sat and you listened to all of those people and you got all this training. But what it did is it made me take steps back to look at my painting. And when I looked at that painting, I saw all the things that I was missing in the painting. I saw that I was recognizing big accomplishments and not recognizing the small accomplishments, right? And we do so even within ourselves because we are our worst critics. So, meaning what I thought was a great accomplishment, this is actually a great accomplishment, something lower. So we all have teammates, right? And we expect big things from them. We expect them to be just like us, and we expect them to be live 2 times a week, and we expect them to buy every day, and we expect them to get on that fashion fix. And what we're not doing is, because they're not doing everything that we want them to do, because that's our painting, we are not looking at their painting and respecting what they need to do, right? So yes, as a team leader, I was going to do the training for my team, and I messaged Lisa because she had caught one of my trainings while I was there. And I said, Lisa, I said, I want to do this. And I said, I had this whole come to Jesus moment about everything that I was missing and incorporating it. And so I want to tell you this. What makes Leadership Summit so successful is that all of us sitting together and sharing our ideas and telling each other what works for us and what doesn't work. So I'll share with you something that I had heard. I heard several team leaders stand up and say, you know, they're my leg that's completely full, meaning that leg is giving them full production, right? So you guys know, if you're trying to get, you know, the one portion done, right? So you're trying to make it to Premier Director. What's Premier Director? 3,000. So you need your team to be pushing, right? Well, you have that one girl and she's always hitting the 1,200 PV. You don't have to worry about her. Does that mean that you don't reward her? Does that mean that you don't recognize her? Well, she doesn't need me. She's making it happen. I've got to worry about these other 2 people. So you need to find the balance. Don't forget about the person that is knocking it out of the park every week for you. Don't forget about the person who's making your commission check happen, you know? And so I was listening, and they're saying how they create contests for only other 2 groups, because this group, they're going to hit that contest and they're going to win every week. And I was thinking in my head, like, you're just forgetting about the person who got you to where you're at. You're forgetting about the person who's constantly going to bat for you. And so it really takes stepping outside of your own mind. But what made it so successful, what I was talking about, was that all of us were sitting and talking together, right? How many of you on this team don't know anybody else on this team except for the people that you signed up? If you look, I haven't looked at what Team Hotsy Totsy is up to in numbers, but I think it's at like 1,700 or something. That is a lot of people that could be in your network. And those of you that are going to convention, I'm asking you, step outside of your comfort zone. Talk to the person next to you. When you're sitting down at convention, maybe you're not sitting with the team. Maybe you're sitting by yourself. The key is to sit down and to talk to the person next to you. Give feedback. We all learn from each other. We all grow from each other's mistakes. And there's no hidden secret. How they describe us at Elite is this: we are competitive comrades. At the end of the day, are we all working and competing against each other? Yes. In a sense, we are, right? We're all selling the same jewelry. We're all competing against each other. However, we are also comrades. Nobody at Elite would say, no, I'm not telling you that. I'm not going to tell you how I made it here. I'm not going to tell you what my best trick is for this. Everybody helped each other. And so if you notice, the people that will go places are the people that will reach out and will help other people. So I met several people at convention. Right? So Ariel, you know what? You don't need to. The fact is that in order for me to do what I have been able to do, I had to step out of my comfort zone, which meant I had to paint outside of the lines of what I deemed were the lines, right? I had to cut myself. I had to make myself vulnerable. I had to be able to show you guys my picture. And that is scary, because it is very scary to be us and go up in front of other people and sell this jewelry and be ourselves, right? And to tell people our failures and to tell people our successes. But we all did it at leadership. And in order for me to get to leadership, in order for me to take the next step, because I was able to step out of my comfort zone, right? Because you guys know Heidi Bound. That is the Heidi necklace. For some of you guys that are new, the Heidi Z collection. She's one of my friends. We came back from convention, and you know, because you win a necklace, we're pretty close together. And I messaged her and I said, Heidi, I said, how many people have you recruited? And she goes, oh, I think I'm at like 56 or 57 at the time. And I was like, man, I really can't recruit people. I don't know how. And she goes, have you talked about yourself? She goes, you have a lot of accomplishments. Have you told anybody your accomplishments? I said, no, Heidi, that's not me. I don't want to do that. I don't want to tell people. That's like bragging. I don't want to brag. And she goes, it's not bragging. She says, you have to tell people about yourself. You have to show them the struggles that you've had and the gauntlets that you've run through. And Vivian, totally can be yours, girl. I know you recruit. I know you sell. So what I'm telling you guys is that if you want to do things that are not on your path, you have to step out of your comfort zone to do them. Meaning, talk to the person next to you. Don't be afraid when you're at convention to reach out. And I've talked to Lisa about having our teams meet together. Lisa last year had meetings where her team went and met together. And let me tell you, I learned a lot of valuable lessons from a lot of the people that are sitting here on this live that I sat and talked to. Each of us has a different way of doing things, and it gives you ideas to try to go outside of your box and to get outside of your lines. So success is making yourself vulnerable, giving yourself and making yourself do those things you don't want to do, even though you know they are the right things to do. So how many of you have a hard time recruiting? Most people I know cannot recruit. And I have to accept my team and the people on my team that can't or are afraid to get out of their comfort zone. Maybe they will, right? Maybe at some point I can create a challenge that will help them recruit. However, if I sat up and I had done the same thing that I was doing and just sold jewelry, right? Over and over and over and over again. And I never talked about myself, which makes me uncomfortable. And I never talked about my accomplishments. I never would have recruited. And so I'm giving you my example, and I'm telling you that should be an example to you. You have something that's holding you back. Maybe it's that you don't want to go live. And the fact is, if you have big goals, if you have goals of big sales, if you have goals of making it to elite, you are going to find a very hard time doing it without going live. I sat with one person in the entire room that had never gone live. And when I sat with her, I said to her, if you don't go live and you made it to elite, because that's what she told her team. She says, if we make it to elite, then I will go live. I said, if you didn't go live, I said, how are you teaching your team to go live? Because for me, I have to be an example, right? If I tell you guys this is the path to do it, then I have to go do it. I can't say go buy every day or go do this and not do it. And the one thing that I always have seen is this. So you remember when you first got your first recruit or you first made it to director, and by the way, Trent Kirby says it and so do I, director is the hardest rank to reach in the company because you have to get out of your comfort zone. You literally have to take a no. And getting a no, getting rejection is uncomfortable. But once you hit that ground and you make director, you've kind of found a path of how to speak outside of the lines. So I can always remember, and I remember I did it too in my head. I was like, why aren't they buying? What is this? And then you push them to buy. Like, everybody needs to go buy today. They're going to have the best pieces. You guys better be on there and better buy. So I think it's funny because when you did that to them, which Lisa doesn't do that to people, but Lisa's a much different character out of every box, especially out of everyone that I've met. When you did that, you just cast them out. You put them back, right? And they're like, oh, now it's all about the numbers. It's all about a commission check. And so we need to learn to care about the person and to care about each person's picture and how they're making that picture happen. And so we talked a little about goals. And I want to say that some people always base their goals based off of sales. And that is not the way because it takes a long time to build sales. There's a lot of things that you can do for a goal besides sales, okay? You can talk about getting more viewers, more page likes, being and going live for longer hours, right? So getting more time going live. You can talk about recruiting, like, oh, you know, if you don't have a recruit, it's not about how much you've accomplished. And this is what I try to tell everybody. if you do not, I'm reading Melanie's comment. So if you guys can all take a second and read Melanie's comment here. There isn't better people that join under, because Melanie, you belong to a stellar team. You have, and I call Lisa the dinosaur paparazzi. She's not really the dinosaur paparazzi, but she has so much knowledge. She has so many connections. And I'm going to tell you, when I go places with Lisa, and I used to look up to Lisa like she was like, you know, it would be like me sitting down next to Pink or something. You know, it was like she was the superstar, the all-star. And now I look at Lisa as a normal person, because she is. She's a normal person. And so this is what I tell my team. I say, you are not sitting there and you did not come from just nothing, right? So for my team, they have me. I've won a necklace. They have Lisa. Lisa's won 2 necklaces. Not only has Lisa won 2 necklaces, she is also, you know, the like the elite, and she has so many things going for her, right? And so this is what I tell you guys. Make yourself vulnerable. Tell somebody your goals. When you're live, you should be talking about you as well as showing jewelry. We are in the business of people, okay? Not only people that we are selling to, but people that are on our team. We need to respect different people and different outlooks. So when I say to my team, I say, what have you gotten from paparazzi? And some of them don't know. They honestly don't know. And I have to point it out to them, because I know my team. I know what their why is. I know what they have gotten out of this. Maybe it's they've gotten more self-confident. Maybe it's the fact that they are able to work a business with their teenage daughter. Maybe it's that they get to spend more time with their husband or their wife, okay? And that is a big accomplishment. And if you are talking about your goals, and as your customers are seeing you hit them, they know that you're a straight shooter. They know that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. And not a lot of people do that. Hey, Sherry. Hi, Tawan. So it is not all based on what you have and your knowledge. You guys come from a great upline. You guys have Lisa. And when I go to some place with Lisa, literally every consultant that walks in that door comes up to Lisa and says, you know, I've watched all of your YouTube videos. I mean, she's like the super. Hi, Christina. She's like the superstar of paparazzi. And every consultant that walks in that door, whether we're at Life of the Party, whether we are at convention, whether we are on the diamond shopping spree, because I've been with Lisa a lot. I've gotten to share a lot of time with her, that they all recognize her and her knowledge, okay? And you guys have that pool of knowledge right at your fingertips. So we all learn in different ways. And this is what I tell my team. I tell my team that if you guys have a super big goal of sales and you guys are just listening to me, I am not the end all. Great, I might be first or second in sales in the company, but that doesn't mean that I speak your language. So they talk in training at Elite about the 5 languages of love, right? And again, I haven't read that book. Now it's on my book list. But all of us speak a different way. Everybody has a different sense of what they want for recognition, right? So I told my team, because you guys were all getting those emails about Kane Brown, and the Kane Brown had several people that were there for sales, several people on that list that were there for recruiting, several people that were able to get their recruits to buy big kits, right? And so I told them, I said, if you aren't achieving the goals you want to by listening to me, it's not going to hurt you to go watch one of those people and see what they do to make this happen. So I'm a teacher, right? And I'm teaching you how to paint. But that doesn't mean that I know every texture and style that you're going to like. And in my painting, people say all the time, what's the biggest secret to sales? And I always tell them it's about variety, right? And I always get people that'll say to me, what if they think this is ugly? Or I can't move a Z piece. Well, then you haven't made your audience large enough to do it. Okay, so that means there's where your fault is. That's what you have to go work on. Making your audience large enough that they are going to buy those pieces, right? Because Paparazzi hits all walks of life. They give us new jewelry Monday through Friday. And so if you can't sell a Z piece, then guess what? You got to work on building that audience a little bit, getting a little bit more variety into it, and keeping the colors on your board, but getting all the different people that are going to appreciate all the different colors. Okay? I sell a lot of jewelry, but the reason why I sell my jewelry is because I have customers all over the country. I worked at it, okay? Here's the one thing that always irritates me when I get a message and they said, gosh, you're really lucky. Gosh, you're lucky you got where you got. It wasn't luck, okay? I did not beat down Lisa's door and make her tell me every step of the way. I did not ask her, all the time. But if I did get stuck, I would reach out to her because Lisa's not a mind reader. And so they told us at Elite the 3 things that are clogging up those phone lines. Do you remember that we're all sitting there, we're waiting for that phone line to come in? And so you'll hear us, we'll be complaining, oh my gosh, it took me an hour, and then this, and then that, and then they didn't even call me back. Here's the 3 things. And so when you are signing somebody up, here's something to remember, okay? The 3 things are this. A, they don't know their consultant ID, okay? Hi, Julie. Hi, Lori. They do not know their consultant ID. Now, you ladies and gentlemen know what's the number 1 thing you need to know in paparazzi? Your consultant ID. Number 2, this is 50% of the calls that are coming into the call center. Number 2 is, what is Fashion Fix? If they don't know what Fashion Fix is, you failed them, right? Because Fashion Fix is super important. Fashion Fix makes up 1/3 of my business. Fashion Fix gets people into your jewelry group. Fashion Fix brings new buyers, okay? Number 3 is how to check the tracking of your package. These are the 3 things that they are getting 50% of their calls from. So what that told me was, I'm failing. Like, if my people are calling in to ask those questions, I'm so worried about them going out and buying or them going and doing this that I'm missing the basics of what to tell them. So what they told us is this. They said, you guys have to figure out a way to train your people so that all of them get it. So some people learn good off of videos, right? Some people learn better off of talking to somebody on the phone. Some people learn better doing as they go, right? They learn from actually putting it into practice and making things happen. You have to figure out your team. You have to figure out their whys. You have to figure out what motivates them. Some of them it's prizes. Some of them it's accolades. It's simply just saying, oh my gosh, you did a killer job. But we're so looking for like the creme de la creme that we're not looking at the people that are working it as hard as they can that may not have those numbers yet. And we have so many expectations of where that they should be that we're not paying attention to where they are right now. And so all of this came together for me. And our job as leaders is to give you guys an outline to that painting, to give you guys the goals that can be achieved. Like, you should know what life of the party is. You should know what Crown Club is, right? And you should know the different ranks that you should achieve. So how many of you guys, and it's amazing when I started doing this, how many of you guys have signed somebody up and then they start signing up people, right? Did you reach out to them when they said they've signed their first person? And did you say to them, hey, you know what? If you sign 2 more people, that means you hit director, So it's all about you guys automatically, and we automatically, because some of us have been doing this a long time, we assume that they know all of these things. We assume that somebody knows how to make a goal. And we shouldn't. We assume that if they made a goal, that they know how to get there. And we shouldn't assume that they know how to get there or, meet them right where they are, So we assume all of these things and we keep making these assumptions. And I'm sorry, all of us learn at different levels. I can't tell you how many teammates that I have had come on that don't even know where the live button is. And so we make these assumptions that it's all ingrained into them. And if we stop making these assumptions and we hold out our hand and we put ourselves in uncomfortable positions, we can all be at leadership, all right? There's certain people that they're gonna need an extra hand with sales, or they're gonna need an extra hand with recruiting, okay? And so what Trent Kirby says is, listen, you guys all made it to Elite. Are you handing off your recruits to other people? You should be. You should be keeping the self-starters, the people that you see as you, for yourself. And this doesn't apply to you guys if you're not Elite, but I'm saying that this is the mentality that you have to have. You have to take other people and put them first and not make it a me game. Me, I want them to go buy, right? I want them to buy. But I can't be me. I have to think about them and figure out where their needs are coming in and what I need to do to help them get to the places they need to go. So they were talking about how you should try to go to all of these events, right? And how it really builds your business. And let me tell you how it builds your business, because it sinks in. I took 4 days away from shipping, from going live, from talking to my team, from doing this, from doing that. And I was able to sit back and enjoy myself. And when I could sit back and I could look at my painting from afar, I could see all the blank places in my painting. I could see everything that I was doing wrong. Hand them off. For instance, Natasha, who is on my team, was going for a necklace, and I want to brag about Natasha a little bit, because Natasha worked very hard for this necklace. Okay, she didn't get it. Heather Viramontes and Barbara Alpharitis, who's a friend of mine, ended up winning that month. Okay, but Natasha stepped outside of her comfort zone. Natasha signed, I think it was 82 people that month. 82 people, one person. She'd never signed like that before, okay? But she had a goal in mind and she set herself to it. And do you know how she signed those 82 people? Because I was flabbergasted. I'm looking at it and I'm getting like 6 notifications in 5 minutes of people joining. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And of course you get the suspicious, because we're women, we're suspicious. And I said to her, I said, how in the heck did you sign these people? You know what she had done? She walked into Dunkin' Donuts. She put herself in an uncomfortable position. She walked into Wendy's. She walked into Taco Bell. And she would go up to them and she would be wearing the jewelry and she would say, isn't this fabulous? How would you like to buy this jewelry for $2.75? She's like, well, you know what? Here it is. It's $99 to join. You get 35 great pieces of jewelry. Now, how many of you could take yourself and put yourself in that uncomfortable position? Because personally, I'm not into door-to-door sales. I don't think that I could walk into Wendy's and feel comfortable doing it. But she did it. And so I gave her 18 of the people that were going to sign up under me, under her. And I said, she did the work. She showed me that she was willing to step out of her comfort zone. She was live every single day of the week except for 3 days that month, okay? And I sat on 2 of her lives and I had all of my customers come on and share it. I said, I am going to go and watch Natasha's live. Natasha's working very hard for this. And I said, if you guys can go and just share her live video, just share a live video. If you guys sit and watch and shop, that's awesome. You know, these are my customers. They shop with me all the time. If you guys can do that, that's great. But if you can just go share her video, that would be great. Meanwhile, while she was live on her page and she was doing it, I would say, how many of you thought, you know, you guys can join for the discount? I sat there and I flooded the feed. And guess what? During 2 8-hour lives, Saturday and Sunday, I recruited 18 people that were my customers to come join with her. Because I told them, you're not only getting her, which look, she's working her business. This girl knows how to sell. She has 136 viewers right now. She works every single day. And so I told my customers, I said, just signing with her, you get me also as an upline. And I'm going to help you, right? So this is the way to do it, right? She worked, she showed me she could do it. She was doing her job. I wasn't just handing her signups to hand her a sign up. I was helping her achieve her goals. And when you guys are leaders, you have to see what everybody's goal is. And whether it's this is a hobby, or I want to buy a house, or I'm doing this just to earn an extra $50 a week to spend, you guys have to evaluate that. No goal is beneath you or you. I'm reading what Rebecca says. Absolutely, right? And so, Rebecca is absolutely right. I hear a lot of times, and you guys hear a lot of the negatives, okay? So let me tell you about what I learned when we were there. And of course, I hear it on my team group chat. I hear, oh my gosh, I didn't get the mermaids. Oh my gosh, I didn't get this. Oh my gosh, I didn't get that. And the fact is I don't get everything, okay? And that's a good thing. So when we don't get everything, I've missed out on plenty of mermaids. I've missed out on plenty of fringe. I don't go buy it at full price. I don't go say, hey, you know what? Because my customer base really requires about me to purchase of those hot items, 100 of them. I don't say, you know what? I'm going to come buy 100 of them because my customer isn't going to know whether I had it or not, right? You're painting your own picture. So if you tell your customer, I didn't get the mermaids, then you already painted some gray into your picture. You're making it dark, right? But if you show them all the fabulous jewelry that comes out, And so I realized that I was making a large mistake in with the negativity, right? Because here's what happened. Somebody did something that I thought that I was underappreciated, that I thought that it mattered, that they didn't see all the things that I did, or they felt that I was this type of person, or that, they said this about me. And I let that hang up on me. And we're women, right? Men usually have, no offense if there's any guys on here, men usually have like 4 emotions. We have 400 of them, right? And most of us, I'm not going to speak for all of us, most of us have this emotion that we have to have the last word, that we're always right, that we did so much. Well, how can they say that? And so you think in your mind when this happens, did I give too much? I should stop giving. I should stop doing what I'm doing. And I let that stunt my growth, okay? There's always going to be somebody out there that doesn't like me. And there's always going to be somebody out there that says something bad. And there's always going to be some negative that's going to come into your pathway. But don't let it hold you up, because I did. I let it set me back. And you need to just do you and worry about you. And when something negative comes up, paint it into a positive. Now, those of you guys who have been a consultant since December, everybody was complaining, right? We were like, why can't we all just get every new release? What is this? Well, they did it for us in December. Do you remember how nothing disappeared off of the website? Every single person could get every single piece. And guess what happened? All of us had all of the same pieces. Do you know what that meant for a new consultant? That meant they couldn't sell. Because why is my customer going to leave alive, or anybody else's customer going to leave alive, if we all have the same thing? They're not going to shop around. And let's face it, that's what our businesses are built off of. And when you sign a new consultant, you want them to get business, even if they can't generate it from their friends and family. And how are they going to do that? Because our customers all shop around, because we all have different products. And so when everybody was getting the same merchandise, our sales all dropped. My sales dropped in December. Nobody's sales should drop in December. And the reason being is because it was all sitting on the website, because all of us were complaining that we should all get the same new release. But that is the foundation of our business, and that is what made our company great, is that we all get different things and we all get them at different times. Lisa will tell you that for 1 year straight, when they were dropping new releases, she was going to pick up her kids. She got none of the good stuff. But guess what? Lisa still was one of the #1 people in sales in the company. Because it shouldn't matter that you don't have what we deem, us as consultants, as the hot button piece. What matters is that we get up and we do our show, and we do it with a smile, because positivity attracts positivity, okay? If you want people to enjoy your show, if you want people to come back, if you want your consultants to go into it with a positive attitude, you wake up and act like you're living. You wake up and every day know that you're successful and live like you're successful. So a lot of people know my husband's story, and that's why he couldn't make it to Elite with me, because my husband is terminally ill and he's in hospice, and they told us that he was going to die in October of 2017. And when I hear my team being upset about something, when I hear my team being down on something, this is what I say to him. I say, you know what? Every day my husband wakes up like he's living. We make plans like he's living. We don't make plans like he's dying, because if he had woken up every day like that, since we found out he was dying, he'd be dead. So if you want to be successful at this business, if you want to rock this business out, don't take one failure as you're failing, because you're not failing, okay? Take it as, whoops, little notch in the belt, gotta pick myself up and jump over that crack, and live like you are successful. Wake up every day and say you're killing it, because you are. And people say, well, fake it till you make it. No, it isn't faking it till you make it. It's make it until you make it. Make it till you make it to that goal that you want to make it to. So many people get discouraged, and so many people will quit this year, okay? I can't do anything about that, because maybe they woke up and they decided that they were failing. And they didn't want to live like they were winning. So we have to remember that we make great sacrifices, right? I had to go someplace without my husband. I stepped outside of my comfort zone. I did not wear my name tag, because if I did, then people would know who I was. And I wanted to sit at a table and have somebody not know who I was and get information without this, oh, she made Elite in 12 months, and oh, she won a necklace and she's number 2 in sales. I didn't want that. I had to step out of my comfort zone, which meant I was the outsider, right? Nobody knew who I was. I didn't have my husband sitting next to me with comfortability. Now I want you to think about our founders. Do you think that this wonderful jewelry just comes to us because they sit at a desk every day? No. Our founders actually take 3 to 6 months out of every year and they fly over to China without their families. And so how we sit there and how we get all caught up on some kind of negative feeling or thought that hits us, and we let it stunt our growth because silly us thought it really mattered that somebody said something bad about us or somebody was gunning for us. They have to hear all of our negativity. I didn't get that new release. Aren't they going to come out with more of these? How come we can't get them all? And so they listen to all that negativity all day long. So can you imagine how they feel, but yet they keep this company going and they give us all the tools that we need to have a successful business? They leave their family. They make the same sacrifices that we do. They go to the same bathrooms as we do. They sit and dance on the dance floors with us. They allow us to come up, and when you go to convention, know who they are, have a picture of them because they're going to be out in the crowd with you. They're going to be standing next to you in a line. They will be sitting down and eating lunch, and they will be talking with you. So you should know who they are. And the thing that we have to remember is that they made great sacrifices for us. And when we sit and we complain, they've given people the ability to go ahead and to kill it at this business. And they've done so on a regular basis. And I always brag about this because I think this is the most important thing about paparazzi. It does not matter your age. It does not matter your educational level, or even if you have a high school diploma. It does not matter your religious background. It does not matter what city you grew up in. It doesn't matter if you had parents. It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter your sexual preference. It doesn't matter your sex. You can kill it in this business, okay? But you have to paint your own painting, and you have to decide where you want to go. And you cannot rely on Lisa or myself to do your painting for you because you're going to know what's going to work for you. This is Natasha, who I was just talking about. Natasha stepped outside of her comfort zone to do the things that she's done, okay? So what I'm telling you guys is this. We all have some kind of a teacher in front of us, right? They're going to help us and give us the outlines. Our teacher does not know what we're thinking. Our teacher, if you have not said your goal or said your why, doesn't know how to help you in the way that you need to be helped. If you have not told your teacher what motivates you, some of you guys might be motivated just by a one-on-one call with Lisa for an hour. Okay, some of you might be motivated by super great prizes. But what I'm telling you guys is that you have to go ahead and you have to get vulnerable. You have to tell somebody what you want. You have to tell your customers who you are and what you want. Because the minute that I did that, and I'll tell you, when I started out, I had 6 viewers. A lot of you guys have heard this. I've done training for Lisa's team before. If not, you've been on my live myself just to watch. But I had 6 viewers. I came from a law firm mentality. Do you know how I went on and did a live? Basically in a 3-piece suit, because I thought being professional and making it a business and being this and being that was what was going to attract people to me. And it wasn't. It was being vulnerable. It was getting into my t-shirt, my yoga pants, telling them about my family, telling them about my life. That drew people to me because it makes me relatable. And if you guys can do that, if you can make yourself vulnerable, if you can start painting your own picture. Hey, if your picture starts to get gray, start a new picture. Paint a new picture. Paint yourself a new goal, okay? I wrote some stuff down because I was worried that it wasn't going to translate what I learned today. What the other thing that you have to remember is that your painting is going to affect your team's painting, okay? So if you are constantly negative, then don't expect anything else than that from your team. Your painting is going to affect the founders of this company's painting. They have put blood, sweat, tears, millions of hours into this company. We work for a phenomenal company. I don't know any other company that does the things that this company does for us, right? And you know what they hold dear to their heart? The brand that they have built, this paparazzi legacy, this sisterhood, this quality jewelry with a friendly face and happy customers, right? But what you have to remember when you're painting your picture is that you need to stay within the lines of compliance. Just because you're getting to paint your own path doesn't mean that you can paint your path outside of what the founders have created, because it's technically their picture, right? It's their picture and our pictures fit inside of it. And then when your team signs, and their little pictures make up your big picture too. So we have to make sure that our pictures are all clear, that our pictures reflect exactly who we are. Positive attracts positive. And the one thing that they always tell us, and this is the case, is beat your best, right? So every day, every time that we have a summit, every time they create a new rank, because paparazzi is never going to let you hit the top, right? They always want you to beat your best. So I made black diamond, and I am way past black diamond, so I beat my best, right? And I know that they'll create something new for me. But if you don't know what your best is, if you haven't been keeping track, then keep track. So what they do for us at Elite, I don't know if I have mine here. What they do for us at Elite is this. And I thought this was a great way, and I thought, why aren't more people tracking their business like this, okay? So they gave us from 2018 to 2019. And the things that they did was they wrote down what our PV was for each month. They put it like in an Excel spreadsheet, I'll show you. And then they wrote what the next line is, the commission, right? So they wrote down what our commission was. Then they wrote down how many total personally sponsored that month we brought in. And they wrote down how many of them were active. And then they wrote down our new personally sponsored and then our rank, what our rank was that we would hit each month. So by doing so, then they went ahead and they gave us a report card. So the report card was that they would tell us whatever our total was. So for PV in 2018, they told us what our total was, and then they brought to us our average, okay? For 2019, they did the same thing. They totaled all of 2019 and gave us what our average was for 2019. And then they looked at us, and they did this for the PV, for our commission, for our total personally sponsored, for our personally sponsored active, and then for how many new personally sponsored we were bringing in. Hey, Lisa. So what they said is, now look at yourself from 2018 to 2019, because what they're trying to tell us is that so many leaders get to Elite and drop, and they don't even see themselves falling. And what they were trying to point out to us is, did you improve? So from 2018 to 2019, what's your average? And so my average, and I'll share with you my PV, my average in 2018 for PV was 15,581 per month. Now my average in 2019 is 26,158. So that means I'm buying 13,000 pieces a month now, right? So boom, I went up. They're teaching us that we need to look at where we came from, and we need to make sure that we're constantly beating our best. So our average for 2018, we should be beating that in 2019, whether it's sales, whether it's recruiting, whether it's how many that are active, okay? So the thing that they told us is that we all tell you guys as leaders where you guys want to be, right? You guys want to be elite, but we don't give you any which way to get there. And this goes along with some people may have goals, but they have no idea what it takes to achieve those goals. And it's our job as leaders to lay that out for you. And so we came up with figures, and the figures that they came up with were this. If you would like it to make it to Elite, you need to be buying 1,000 PV a month, minimal. You need to be recruiting 3 consultants per month, minimal. And you need to have 10 personally sponsored active. Excuse me. If you continue to keep doing that, you will hit Elite. I can't give you a time frame, but all of us as leaders that were sitting in the room came up with these numbers together and felt that it was a fair portrayal of how to get yourself to that goal, right? So you guys might have goals and you think you know how to get there, but I urge you to reach out to the person that you have set that is above you, like if it were me or Lisa, because I know my team and Lisa's team has been coming in and out of here, then I urge you to reach out to the person above you and tell them what you're planning on doing to make that goal. So Lisa was a key instrument in my success, right? But I didn't go to Lisa and ask her to spoon feed it to me. Lisa gave me information and she says, you know what? I think that if you started a YouTube, that would be a great idea. So I'd start a YouTube. And then Lisa would look at the YouTube and she'd go, you know, Marissa, I think that you should make thumbnails like this. And that'll really help you. So Lisa would give me constructive information that I would then go out and do, but I also did things on my own. So I'm telling you guys, if you guys want to hit new levels, if you want to do new things, and maybe you're not getting, or you don't speak the same language Lisa does, or you don't speak the same language that I do, then go out and attract, you know, go to those people. Patricia Shevlin, she's phenomenal. She has a YouTube channel. She talks about analytics of Facebook and how to get more viewers. She talks about recruiting. And if you notice, she was #1 on the Kane Brown recruits. She was recruiting like nobody's business. Like she was triple what I was at. If you guys are having an issue with sales, Geraldine Souza is probably #1 or #2. You know, I think she's, I'm pretty sure she's #1 over me, even though I fell ahead of her in Kane Brown. So go check out Geraldine's show. See how she does it. Take notes. Nobody says that you can't go outside of the box to look for information. And those of you guys who look at different pictures are going to get a clearer picture for yourself, okay? I wrote down a bunch of things and I want to make sure that I did cover the majority of it before I go. If anybody has any questions, I want to make sure that you guys realize that if somebody does something too, it's their success, right? So if you guys fail, that's not Lisa's fault. That's not my fault. And the same way as if you win a necklace, Lisa didn't win you that necklace. I didn't win you that necklace. So you guys have to make sure that you guys are owning your journey, right? Just like that necklace they came out with. Own your journey. Own your successes, own your failures. And don't ever look to somebody else, because somebody who's looking to blame somebody, oh, my viewers are down because this person's live while I'm live. And my viewers are down because this is this. You know, I am not afraid to share people's shows. A lot of you guys know that. A lot of you guys are on Lisa's team, and if I've seen you guys live, I've gone on your live and I've shared your show. And I will always get this look of amazement. Today, I met people at Elite Summership. Actually, her husband sat next to me and was wearing the Marissa, and I didn't even notice for like 45 minutes. And then when I turned around and looked at the person next to me and saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is cool. I gotta show my team. And I sent them a picture. Today, I came home, I saw that they were live. Oh, thanks, Taddy. Today I came home, I saw that they were live. I went on their live and I said, hey, how you doing? Oh my gosh, I just want to share some of my new friends. I shared their video. They were in shock and awe that I would come on their video. They're not on my team. I get nothing for it. I do not get anything for doing these trainings for you. Lisa's not giving me some big prize in the background. But I realized that we're all given gifts. And if we share those gifts, people will share them back with you. I learned this. I told you, Heidi Bound, step out of your own box, Marissa. Talk about your accomplishments. Talk about yourself. Tell people who you are. Tell people the struggles you have and tell people how you got through them. Boom. I start recruiting. Okay? You know, I get different gifts from different people. And if I don't ask and if I don't give, I shouldn't expect anything back. So you guys need to step out of that comfort zone. You guys need to realize what your strengths are and don't be afraid to share them, because you know what? Chances are the person you share them with, you can learn something from. And that is the name of this game, competitive comrades. At the end of the day, yes, we compete, but however, we all strap on the same boots every day. And at the end of the day, we should all be helping each other do this business. There is not oversaturation in paparazzi. And I hear this all the time. I can't do it because I have 28 consultants in my area. No, you can't do it because you don't want to do it, because you're looking for something to blame. The fact is that if you walked into the streets where there's 28 consultants in your area and you asked 50 people if they've heard of paparazzi, only 3 of them probably have. If you're lucky, 3. Because we're not a household brand. We are not sitting where everybody knows what we are and everybody knows what we have. So it's our job to work together and to put it out there, okay? You'll always have to stand back from your picture. You have to look at it and see if that picture. So when you go to EMP, that's your time to stand back from your picture. And you know what else it is? It's a time to look at somebody else's picture. The person sitting next to you on the bus, the person sitting next to you at convention. Right? I know, and I realized that I was given a gift. I learned from my mistakes. Yes, I made a lot of them, but I was given a gift to figure out a path to success quickly, and that I shouldn't waste that gift. It's just like I put it in the philosophy of my husband dying, okay? I could sit down and I could cry every single day, but if I did, I wasted the gift that God gave me. God gave me a gift of spending this time with my husband, and many people don't get this gift. So I cannot waste that gift. Now, God gave me another gift of being able to figure this out and picking the right paths and knowing what will help my team get to success. If I hold all this in and I don't share it with all of you, then I just threw God's gift away. Because the gift wasn't just for me. When God gives you something, he gives it for everybody. Right? Exactly. Zig Ziglar, guys. You don't want to go without a goal. You don't want to sit still, okay? Goals get you places. Exactly, Lisa. You always want to make goals for yourself. And so here's the other thing too I want to say. So I would sit there and people wanted to know how I've been able to push my sales and how I've been able to double it. And I told them come and sold, right? And I told them all the things that go into Come and Sold and all the things Come and Sold can do for me and all the benefits of it. And yes, there's always going to be a negative to your positive, right? And so I was able to share this with a lot of people, and I was shocked because what I learned is that a lot of people don't want to change. They want more without doing more, okay? They want more without changing how they do things. And guess what? If you guys are stuck in one place with one set of amount of viewers, with one set of sales, then you need to change. You need to make yourself vulnerable. You need to do more. Guess what? And so the thing that the founders had told us at the Leadership Summit was this. People get to elite and they get lazy. They forget about the things that made them get to elite. And what happens is then they fall out, right? So a lot of people, once they make it to elite, and I can't speak for anybody that I met, I know that every single person there had a different journey and made it there in a different way. But when I went there, that a lot of people in elite, what happens is they decide that they're just going to stay on their Fashion Fix subscription to stay active. They're not going to sell anymore. Well, guess what? Selling is what gets you recruits. That's what gets me recruits. If you have a different way, then go to it. But for me, if I am not live and if I do not talk about my journey, and mind you, you're going to have to say your journey a lot of times, right? You don't go to your favorite rock band, and I get this from Heidi Bound's husband. This is what he said to me. He goes, you get tired of saying your story. And I said, yeah, I kind of do. And that was part of the reason why I didn't wear my name tag when I went there. He says, but look at it this way. He goes, you can't go to a Stones concert and not hear the most popular Stones song, because why did you go to that Stones concert? To hear that Stones song. And so you have to think about it. Like, yes, it is my journey. Yes, I am tired of saying it, but that's what people come to me for, is my journey. People are going to join you for your wow, for your purpose, for your goals, for you accomplishing them. And so I have to own my journey and I have to repeat it. And I have to do it with a smile and remember that this is a positive thing and this is what brought me to where I'm at. And that's what you guys have to remember when you're doing this. As you guys change, as you adapt new things, as you guys decide to try new things to push yourself forward, your picture's going to change. And that's okay. Change your picture, change your goals. When you have painted this picture, this small picture that you had in mind, work towards that medium picture that you just have the outline down for. And make sure you still have a large picture in the background. You know, I have goals, I share them with my customers. I know, and I have always felt uncomfortable talking about myself. And here's another thing you guys don't know. I am uncomfortable talking in front of a large group of people. I am a person that I could talk to 12, 13 people, but getting up at that elite summit and sharing my story or sharing some of the things that the other girls were scared me to death, right? However, I know that I have to step outside of my box. I was scared to sit down at a table and not have my husband like everybody else did and talk to them and find out these things and make myself vulnerable, because what if they don't like me? What if they think I'm a big bag of wind? But it works. Look at what I've been able to bring back, and look at what the founders, and appreciate what the founders do for us. They are giving us new jewelry, which no company does, every single day. Right, Lisa? You know, and my large picture changed, because my large picture before was to win a necklace. My large picture before was to push my sales. Do I ever want to be number one? No. I want to be the best me that I can be. So don't ever set yourself up for failure, okay? If I were to be number one, then I couldn't give back to my team. And people chose to sign with me for a reason, because of my knowledge, because I would help them. So always remember your center, always remember your purpose, but always set yourself a goal, no matter how big, no matter how small. But remember what it takes to get to that goal. And remember who got you to where you're at, and that your job is to give back to them. So I think that I've pretty much covered everything that I wanted to cover. And I hope that you guys push forward. I know that some of you will contact me after about having your teams view it if it's separate from Lisa's team, or some of you guys may just be Lisa's adoptees because Lisa helps everybody because she's a person that has a gift and gives it. And guess what it's done for Lisa, and guess where she is. And some of you, your journey will be 2 years. Some of you, your journey will be 6 or 10 years, and that's okay. Accept everybody for what they are and for what pace they're gonna move at. And don't ever overlook the small victories, whether they're your own, whether they're your team's. Take pride in that. Don't get caught up in what other people say about you. Don't set yourself back over some misperception of you, or the fact that we have to have this, total adoration from everybody, because we don't, okay? Know who you are, be proud of who you are, and know what you do. And nobody else has to know what you do or who you are, just as long as you do. So you guys have a wonderful night, and thank you for spending your Sunday evening with me. I hope I could get it out as clearly as I saw it, and I hope you guys can take something back from this. Have a great night, you guys. Bye-bye.